my God, this is getting borderline meta. My brain. Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen. Today, I am a full week into fighting one of the many viruses that my family brings in the doors. But I thought we would have a little fun and do something unique. You know, since you guys are so used to seeing me review other creators' what I eat in a days, why not revisit one of my own? So today I'm going to be looking back a year ago in time and reviewing my old what I eat in a day. But first, let me tell you about my sponsor, Built Bar. So I am always looking for creative ways to bump up the satiety factor in my meals and snacks, and Built Bars have been such a fun and delicious way to check that box. These bars are unique because they taste like chocolate bars because they're made with real chocolate while being packed with protein and flavor. So today's variety, what do I feel like when I'm sick? I mean, let's go back to the childhood comfort flavors. Cookies and cream. This, my friends, is a pick-me-up. And just because I've lost my voice doesn't mean I've lost my moves. And 17 grams of protein? Come on, we love that. We love to see it. Obviously, you can enjoy these alone for a quick snack or add them to another snack like oatmeal, yogurt, fruit, or smoothie for a larger snack or meal. I love all the flavor options and they're always innovating something new. So if you want to try out Built Bar yourself, check out the link in my description and use my promo code AbbeySharp15 to get 15% off of your order. And you can pause the screen or look at the description to check out my general disclaimer, including a trigger warning to those with current or previous experiences with disordered eating. As always, please feel free to skip this video if it's not supportive to your journey. And if you are not already subscribed, what are you doing? Hit that sub button and follow me over on TikTok and Instagram at Abby's Kitchen. All right, a quick little recap on where I was at this point in my life. This video that we're going to review was published at the end of June 2021 and was shot probably early May 2021. I was a ripe 33-year-old with a 3-year-old and a 9-month-old at home, just like trying to figure out how to work and parent a year into the pandemic. No big deal. It was a struggle, but I was still pumping in the night and breastfeeding regularly in the day. But I was starting to think about ways that I could improve my IBS and my sleep and I don't know, like just my general quality of life. Because at this point, like, I was struggling with the concept of self-care. Maybe I still am, do you know? But I had basically just worked with my colleague on a low FODMAP elimination trial to see what my symptoms were and my triggers were, but I actually didn't test positive for SIBO until a month or so later. I also hadn't started any sleep medication for my insomnia or my anxiety. So let's take a look at what I ate in a day and how things have changed since then.
I guess I didn't film my first meal of the day because it occurred at like 2 a.m. while I was pumping in pitch black. So yeah, doesn't make for the best food porn. But I literally wake up starving and very thirsty in the middle of the night. So I like shovel dry cereal into my mouth before I fall back asleep.
So as a pumping and a nursing mom, I would be up in the night, literally burning calories. So it's very common for breastfeeding moms to like need a midnight snack. If you want to make the food, you gotta eat the food. Now, I'm no longer breastfeeding an infant at night or at all, but instead I am often awake at 2 a.m. just like thinking about a random conversation that I had a week back with a stranger.
I'm just like, what you looking at? Stranger.
And if I haven't had a substantial enough bedtime snack, I can actually start to feel hunger creep in. And that kind of f***s with my sleep even more. Unfortunately, what I've learned from a lot of trial and error is that eating even a small snack in the middle of the night significantly throws off my digestion the next morning. Literally, my whole bathroom routine goes to no pun intended. Likely because giving the body a nice long fast overnight helps the migratory motor complex do its natural cleansing job. So very quickly, the migratory motor complex is like a big sweeping broom that moves food along the digestive tract every 90 to 130 minutes or so. Every time we put anything with calories in our mouth, it halts the MMC and it's forced to kind of start the process all over again. And if we aren't allowing this MMC to occur in full, bacteria can more easily pool and therefore flourish. So it's often theorized that constantly disrupting the MMC can contribute to conditions that cause SIBO, and that folks with SIBO have a compromised MMC. So knowing about my SIBO journey now, I do try to focus on having a really satiating snack plus my fiber supplement before bed at night, just to help provide that extra staying power throughout the night.
I have been managing to sleep until like 5:30, sometimes 6 a.m. thanks to making some serious efforts to, better prioritize my mental and physical health and get a little bit of better work and life balance.
It is low-key depressing that my sleep was better then, despite having to be like woken up at 1 a.m. to pump every night. And now my kids sleep well through the night. I'm heavily medicated and I'm still a mess.
She's a hot mess. And that's it.
Is this what adulting is?
But for my first little meal of the day, I'm having some plain full-fat Greek yogurt with some freeze-dried fruit.
Okay, I love this pre-breakfast snack here. We've got protein, fat, and a bit of fiber and carbs. And as a breastfeeding mom, I remember that I absolutely needed that extra meal first thing in the morning when I woke up to fuel my body so that I could fuel my son. Feeding O and just getting through another day with a toddler at home in a pandemic was 100% my priority over worrying about how much time I gave my gut to digest overnight or between meals. However, at this point in my life and my SIBO recovery, where I've eradicated the bacteria and I'm kind of in like a maintenance mode, I do try to have larger meals 4 to 5 hours apart and a longer 12-hour stretch overnight. And while I of course knew about the importance of meal spacing and the migratory motor complex at the time, fueling myself more often for milk production was obviously my primary goal.
All right, now, once they are set, I tag it out with my hubby and I try to get a quick little workout in. So I've got the Peloton app, so I am doing lots of workouts through that. And I also train with 2 different trainers a few times a week on Zoom.
Oh man, I don't miss breastfeeding, but I desperately miss my breastfeeding boobs.
Cool, a boob. Oh, wait, there's a baby on it. Food boob. It's called breastfeeding.
When people call post-baby boobs pancakes, it is not fake news. Appreciate what you got while you got it.
When I'm feeling like having just like a straight up bowl of cereal, but I want to make it more satisfying, I add a little protein powder to the milk, which kind of flavors the milk and then also boosts up the protein. And then I will just add in whatever cereal I feel like. So today I did a mixture of Cheerios and Puffins, and then I'm just serving that up with some peanut butter toast, with some banana, and a little crunchy granola, and some hemp hearts and honey, and some extra fruit on the side. Tell me that doesn't look delicious.
Okay, I love this breakfast. I love that I got protein in the protein powder, fiber-rich carbs in the cereal, toast, fruit, and granola, and healthy fats with the nut butter and hemp hearts. I do recall that at the time of this, I was using a protein powder that was sweetened with Splenda, which I later learned was likely a pretty big trigger for me. Splenda, or sucralose, is something that's often suggested that we try to dramatically reduce during SIBO recovery. So now I typically stick to supplements with monk fruit, stevia, or real sugar.
All right, one more coffee, but make it decaf.
Again, my health priorities have clearly shifted over the past year so dramatically that a lot of these little morning rituals have also changed. So when I was breastfeeding and pumping in the night, I had a lot more prolactin in my body, which is a hormone that helps to promote relaxation and sleep. In fact, one study comparing breastfeeding moms with formula feeding moms found that the breastfeeding moms got more restful nighttime sleep. So both times when I was newly postpartum, I could have a coffee as late as like mid-afternoon if I wanted to, and I'd fall asleep just fine. These days, my brain is sensitive as and it just doesn't get those sleepy cues very easily. I basically now have a like super strict coffee cutoff of like 10 a.m. But of course, my eventual long-time goal is to have a more normal relationship with sleep so that I can be more flexible with things like coffee and other insomnia triggers. Because yeah, coffee is and always will be my favorite part of the day.
Slapped on some store-bought hummus and some prosciutto, added in some chopped cucumbers and tomatoes and spinach, and I smashed that chicken in there, and I served it with some of the ninja vegetables that tried to escape from my sandwich. So yeah, I shovel that in with the kids. So that's why you're not seeing me eat, because I'm eating with my children.
So funny story, I can't eat that Italy soup anymore because I got a stomach bug after eating it one day and I like puked it all up. And now just the smell alone is hella triggering. Leave me a comment below if sickness has ruined a perfectly delicious food for you. Otherwise, I would totally crush a meal like that today. I love that we've got healthy fats in the hummus, protein in the chicken, carbs in the wrap, and tons of veg. And I 100% agree that cooked veg and soups are always going to be easier on the gut than raw. Though it's kind of funny to me that I was dedicated enough to eat all my vegetables cooked in soup to make them easier to digest, but I didn't think twice about slathering on the hummus. I can now eat small amounts of hummus in moderation, but when I had untreated SIBO, even a smear would send me like ripping all the way to Fart City all night long. Not good. In retrospect, I would probably do like pesto or guacamole instead, if for no other reason than to like save my marriage. I also now try to do larger sit-down meals. So again, if I were serving myself this today, I'd probably throw in a piece of fruit with some nut butter, just for a little extra carbs and fat to carry me through until dinner.
One day I won't have to stress shovel soup into my mouth.
Oh yeah, all my parents know what I'm talking about when I say that mindful eating is a legit joke when you've got young kids. We know that eating quickly is one of the most common reasons for gas, bloating, and indigestion, since your food needs that deliberate time in the mouth to break down larger pieces of food and release digestive enzymes. Inhaling food also results in the gulping of air, which can also exacerbate trapped gas. But I want to point out that my early motherhood eating habits did not cause my SIBO. Doing 4 back-to-back rounds of antibiotics for 5 bouts of mastitis while breastfeeding likely caused my SIBO. Not surprisingly though, all of those stressed meals and my stressed body and my stressed mind all made it a lot worse. The early days of motherhood are generally a cluster. And with 2 kids and a career to balance in a pandemic, I would really only ever get moments to like shovel something in. So I have complete empathy for my former self. I was just doing the best job that I could. Now that my kids are 4 and 2, family meals are definitely still like a rush/struggle, but they're at least out of the house for like my breakfast and my lunchtime, so I can sit down with some semblance of peace.
I also had to put a little snack, so I had some leftover edamame and some chopped up mango with tahini, which is the most delicious seasoning mix ever.
Oh man, that looked like a perfect mango. And this reminds me how hard it felt at first to go from like regular snacking to square meals. I've been a grazer and a snack queen my whole life, and I stand by the fact that snacking is really important for a lot of people. It was definitely really important for me during this time in my life when my nutrient needs were so high. So when my dietitian and I decided I was going to try to meal space to optimize my SIBO protocol, it was definitely a strange adjustment. I had to relearn my body's needs at a meal to ensure that I wasn't accidentally under eating, and this was a real process. Sometimes I'd undershoot it and needed to have a snack or an earlier dinner, and sometimes I would overshoot and I'd feel uncomfortably full. This is all part of my personal intuitive eating journey because it was done from a place of self-care, nourishment, and symptom management rather than body manipulation and restriction. In fact, once I psychologically got got into the habit of sitting down to larger meals, I actually felt a heightened sense of food freedom. It meant that I was interrupted by hunger and therefore the need to plan and think about another meal or snack fewer times in the day. I basically ended up with more space in my brain to think about things other than food. And even though I love food, that experience has been really, really freeing. This is such an easy meal, but I also remember my kids hated it. Canned lentils, while convenient, sometimes they just have a muddy flavor. So I'm pretty sure that the kids just ate plain pasta and bread that day. And that is totally all I can expect or hope for them to do. I mean, we always make sure to have one or more safe foods on the table that the kids know that they can fill up on, even when they're not feeling like being adventurous or trying something new.
It's rich in casein protein, which is a slow digesting protein. So I basically like to top mine off with some berries, almonds, and chocolate chips. You guys know that as the hunger crushing combo.
So I still regularly eat cottage cheese before bed because the casein protein is a slow digesting protein that keeps you fuller longer and promotes muscle recovery overnight. So it's definitely been a favorite bedtime snack in the fitness world. But again, because I'm no longer having that pre-breakfast breakfast, and because my insomnia often can cause me to get hungry in the night and then throw off my digestion if I do have a midnight snack, I now focus on having a much larger bedtime snack. And this isn't exactly a pattern of eating I would recommend for everyone because we do have evidence for health benefits associated with front-loading calories as opposed to having more at night. But because of my unique sleep and digestive nutrition related goals, this is the routine that I've just found now works best for me. So in summary, I feel like this offers a little extra insight into how when nutrition goals or priorities change, diet can change along with it. And making changes to your diet or routine can absolutely be compatible with intuitive eating when they come from a place of self-care. What worked for me back in 2021 was different than what's working for me now. And what I'm doing now probably wouldn't have worked then. Not because I couldn't have benefited from meal spacing or a larger bedtime snack, but because I just didn't have the emotional bandwidth to even think about it. And that's okay. One thing I've learned as a practicing dietitian and a dietitian's client is that we need to meet people where they are. There is no point in trying to change your diet to improve your physical health if it's going to cost you your emotional health and sanity. We're all just doing the best job that we can. So on that note, that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you for bearing with me with my compromised voice here. If you like this video, be sure to give it the thumbs up. Leave me a comment below with your thoughts and what you'd like to see me cover next. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye.